Most people don't stay poor because they don't make enough money. They stay poor because of bad habits. Small financial decisions made every day that slowly drain their finances. In this video, I'm going to go through 7 habits that quietly keep you poor and what you can do instead. One habit that quietly keeps you poor is normalizing debt and interest. In this society, borrowing money is completely normal. That's car finances, mortgages, credit cards, buy now, pay later schemes. It's just seen as the normal thing to do today. Parents and people close to you will even tell you, buy a house, even if it means you taking out a really large mortgage. From my perspective, when I look around, I can see how stressful debt and mortgages make people. People are constantly worrying about repayments, rising interest rates, and feeling trapped in like a financial commitment for years. The way I go about things is I avoid debt everywhere I can. I don't have any credit cards, I don't have any mortgages, I'm happy with renting. Just because debt is normal in society doesn't mean it's right for you. So before taking on debt, ask yourself, do I actually need this? Or am I just following society's expectations? Because buying things with borrowed money rarely brings you peace. Another habit that quietly keeps you poor is not investing in yourself. When people hear this, they think, oh, you want me to buy some sort of program or course. That's not what I mean. A lot of people spend money on gadgets, clothes, entertainment, but when it comes to suddenly investing in themselves, suddenly it feels too expensive. Now, investing in yourself doesn't mean you have to spend thousands. It just means you have to get better at something. So you could buy a book for a couple of pounds. You could listen to audiobooks. They're cheaper than a meal deal these days. You also have YouTube where you can literally watch videos on how to do certain things like skills such as AI. You could learn AI on YouTube for free. I think the real issue now isn't access to knowledge, it's how you spend your time. Many people spend hours doom scrolling on social media, but the same time could be spent doing something more productive. I get caught up in those TikTok cat videos myself, but the point is, try and find something to work on and invest in yourself with. Because time spent improving yourself will almost always pay better than the time spent scrolling. Another habit that quietly keeps people poor is being too comfortable with where you're at. When you start earning money and all your bills are covered and life feels stable, people naturally start to coast. And I've done this before. There's nothing wrong with wanting to slow down in life every now and then. But if you stay in that comfort zone for too long, you might end up in the same place for years. When I used to work in retail, there would be colleagues who used to have really good degrees, and I would ask them, what are you going to do with it next? And they would say, I'm planning to do X, Y, Z. And when I would ask them, have you applied yet? They would say, nah, not yet. I haven't done my CV yet. I'll do it soon. It's because they're comfortable. So if you're one of those people, take action now and try and move your life forward. Work for a promotion if you can work for a promotion. Apply for better roles if roles are available. Because as life goes on, you're only going to get more busier, and so you're only going to have less time to do things. So you might as well just take action now. Another habit that quietly keeps people poor is not investing or saving an emergency fund early enough. A lot of people tell themselves, oh, I'll start investing, once when I earn a certain amount of money. But the biggest advantage that you have is time. Let's say you start investing £300 a month at the age of 25, right? By the time you're 55, if that investment gives you a 7% return every single year, you could have just under £500,000. If you upped that investment to about £500 a month, you could end up having more than £500,000, or even potentially up to £1 million if you keep increasing your investments over time. The point is that the earlier you start, the better it will be for you. Most people will actually earn £1 million in their lifetime. The question is how much of that money can you keep, especially for when you want to retire? You don't need to invest huge amounts. You just need to start early and stay consistent. Another habit that quietly keeps people poor is impulse spending. A lot of people spend money not because they actually need something. They spend money because of that short dopamine hit that they're going to get. Buying something new feels very good in the moment, but that feeling fades away very quickly. I noticed this in my own personal life. When I started earning money, I would buy clothes left, right, and center. Now when I look at my wardrobe, I don't have any of those clothes. I don't even know where half of them went. I think I gave them to charity. So all I was doing was chasing a dopamine fix every single week or every other week whenever I was buying stuff. So now if I purchase something, I look at it differently, especially if it's a big purchase. I ask myself, how long will I realistically use that for, right? So let's say I buy an iPhone for £1,000. If I use that iPhone for 2 years and then I upgrade, I technically pay £500 a year for that iPhone. Now let's say if I use that iPhone for 4 years instead, I've paid £250 a year. It's the same phone, but different value depending on how long I keep it. Another example is, let's say you buy a custom fitted suit for work, which costs around £500. That's a lot of money for a suit. But if I wear that suit 3 times a week, that's about 150 uses a year. If I use that for 2 years, then that will be about 300 uses. So that £500 suit works out to be about £1.60 per use. Suddenly it doesn't look as expensive anymore. Thinking about purchases in this way kind of puts things into perspective, whether it's actually worth it or not. Another habit that quietly keeps people poor is thinking that spending money is the only way to be happy. We see on social media that nice holidays, expensive restaurants, shopping is linked to being happy. Don't get me wrong, those things do make me happy as well. But the problem is when we start believing that spending money is the only way to become happy. I've had some of the best moments in my life without spending any money, and that could be like short walks to the park or chilling at a friend's house, not spending any money, just talking and enjoying each other's company. Even a bike ride in the summer, yeah, you have to technically buy the bike, but you know what I mean, it's not an expensive habit. I think this generation is so used to that dopamine hit from spending money that the simple things start to become boring. So if you can learn to enjoy the simple moments without always spending money, you'll spend less chasing temporary highs and you'll end up probably feeling more happier too. Now, the final habit that quietly keeps people poor is not knowing where their money is going. When you start earning money, you will start spending more money, and you could easily fall into the trap of spending money on useless things, and having a budget tracker allows you to keep track of those useless things. You don't have to track every single month, but do it whenever you get a new pay rise or a new job. Give yourself a budget, allocate a certain amount of money to your savings and investments, and then spend the rest on what you want to enjoy. You'll be surprised how much money you can actually save when you're aware of where it's going. Anyway, that was all my points in this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for the next one. Peace.